eating, so sorry.
And we're live, and Kat's eating. And it's the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. We love to do fitness. We're all friends. We are live from the Granite Games, and Kat and Amy are watching from home.
Correct.
Because they have adult responsibilities.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And business responsibilities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how was your trip?
So guys, trip was good. Little turbulence on the way out. And it wasn't anything big, just kind of steady the whole trip. And I was on one of the smaller planes, so.
Any CrossFitters on your plane?
None of the elite athletes. Some RX athletes that are competing in the community aspect.
Yeah, cool.
Were on the plane.
The people that were partying so early, where were they headed to?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But the guy beside me was on his third gin and tonic before we took off.
Wow.
Were you in first class?
I was in first class.
I was gonna say, because you don't
you can't drink. It was only $70 to upgrade to first class, and you get your bags checked for free, which is a $30 fee normally.
Yeah.
So for $10, I got first class.
Yeah, makes sense.
And free drinks or free, yeah.
Yeah, my apple cranberry juice was free.
Good for you.
But yeah, the guy beside me was on his third gin and tonic. So he was apparently going to some fun event.
That's awesome.
Then again, I got here to the hotel. It's right across the pond from the Granite Games. All the athletes are here. So many athlete sightings in the lobby. But the bar is open, and there are people I'm assuming they're fans, but there are beers lined up all over the lobby tables.
That's funny. I mean, for some people, it's like a vacation, right?
This is their kind of fun event to go watch the Granite Games.
Right.
And because it's a community event and an elite athlete event, I think the crowd will be pretty large.
Yeah.
It should be. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling the girls before I got on air that they ran out of large coffee cups at the coffee shop downstairs. So when you order a large coffee, they put it in 2 small cups. So everybody's walking around the lobby with 2 cups of coffee.
Double fisting the caffeine.
Yeah.
So Scott,
and CrossFitters.
If you drink a large coffee at this time, will that affect your sleep?
No.
Have you tested that theory?
Yes. I'm good till about 5 o'clock. If I go after 5 o'clock, then it's bad news.
Falling asleep or staying asleep?
Both.
Okay.
Well, are you drinking a caffeinated beverage there?
Yeah, I just am curious. Wait, is this one caffeine? I hope so. Yeah,
they all do. Yeah, they all have caffeine. So you're okay doing it then in the afternoon also, or no?
Not necessarily. No, I mean, I have no problems ever falling asleep, ever. That's easy. But I will probably wake up several times. But I don't know if that's just my brain and anxiety or if it's probably related.
And you have to remember, I'm an hour back now.
Oh.
Yeah, but your body doesn't know that.
I have no problems.
Speaking of
smashing.
bad blood.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say I have no problem smashing 4 of those in the evening and being fine. So, but there's something wrong with me probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm immune to caffeine now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, bad blood, you were saying. I ruined your segue.
Speaking of bad blood, one Miss Kat Shear was featured on a video this week. And I have a couple questions for you. And then if the audience wants to jump in or Amy wants to jump in, that's cool. Or you want to say something. My first question is, did you know it was going to come out? So let me finish. She was featured in the Andrew Hiller video about judging. Did you
her podcast, a podcast she recorded with somebody else was
about
featured.
Me.
Yes.
Featured.
Where you answered questions about judging was featured on an Andrew Hiller video. Your name was mentioned 736 times.
Guys.
And it was mentioned again in the next episode that didn't feature you.
Really?
Because he keeps going back and talking about Kat's video.
Okay.
So anyway, did you know that you were going to be in that video before it launched?
1,000% no. Guys, this is what happens. I get to the gym at 4:45, right? I usually listen to a podcast, something that I haven't been, heard the night before, in the car on the way to the gym. And my Wi-Fi connection or whatever it was glitching. So I didn't get a chance to like scroll through and like do anything. I just went to the gym. Got to the gym. I'm doing my thing. I check my phone in between classes, and I have some classes I have like 30 minutes in between. So I'm scrolling on my phone and I'm checking up on YouTube. And I subscribe to Hiller. I subscribe to Sevon. Those two are very prolific in their video creation. There's a lot to like catch up with. Yeah. And so I will look and see, is it something I want to watch? Is it something that I want to pay attention to? And I swear to God, I like scrolled through and I see my face on the thumbnail of an Andrew Hiller video. And I'm like, oh shit. I mean, that was I was just like, what the fuck did I say? Completely blindsided by it, completely blindsided. And then I click it and it's like my face is on the screen. Thank God that's a good picture. I think back to like the picture that Taylor, who did the interview with me, like asked me to give him. That picture's like 8 years old. My friend Lauren Bird took it. It was at the morning. I'll never forget. It was at the morning of my very first CrossFit competition. And I was like nervous and I had like my little pigtails and I was so cute. And I just had this little smile. It was cute. But no, I had no idea. No idea.
So second question.
He seemed to be a big fan of yours.
Yeah, but I didn't know that when I was,
I know.
You see your face and you're like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. So second question. Mm-hmm. He cut up the podcast that was like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Correct.
And used about 5 minutes of content.
Mm-hmm.
Was it an accurate representation of the podcast that you did and your views expressed?
Yeah, so I will tell you. I have done a handful of podcasts, maybe 5, of myself getting interviewed. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, in every single one, I hear myself saying something that like isn't even true. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when I talk about myself, or like I did this or I did that, and it's like I'll get the dates wrong, or I'll get the timing wrong, or I'll get the person wrong, or get the detail wrong. So I'm clearly not super great at like speaking like off the cuff. And people ask me questions that I'm not prepared for, right? Mm-hmm. And so in listening back to what he said, I just have some commentary. So the first thing is I'm currently not a judge, right? He said, like, let's just assume she's still a games level judge. Like, I'm not. And also for context, I was a judge for about a year and a half. Like, there are judges out there that started at regionals in 2014, 2015, and are still judging to this day, right? I had a very short, albeit high level experience, very small data set to draw from my opinions and conclusions, right? I've done probably 10 or less competitions. So I'll start with that. And my choice of words was probably not the most accurate. And when I say I use the term fame whore, that was not the right word to use. Like, that was not what I was thinking. And I'll tell you about the whole thing and where he talks about judges doing this, to get close to the athletes. There was one person I was thinking of in particular who is no longer on the judge scene and who was a known problem on the judge scene as being the kind of person that just wanted to be around the athletes. And so I sort of took that one experience and I sort of embellished, right? And I sort of just made that the example to say perhaps, and it wasn't even that, because Taylor asked me, what happened at Mac. And all I said was, I guess I wasn't an asshole, or I guess I wasn't the kind of person, and I'm thinking of this person, I wasn't the kind of person that was trying to get, in good with the athletes and taking selfies and things like that. And this person was actually like hanging around afterwards, like hoping to work out with some athletes, like way beyond, what the thing is. But literally in all of my experience, I can think of 2 judges in my 10 competition high level experience that have been inappropriate like that. And one was the person that was trying to like hang out. And there was another person I can think of who is still actively judging, who always wants to be in the center lane, judging like the high caliber athletes. And to me, if you're a judge and you give a shit about what lane you're in, you suck. And I'll just say that, like, it shouldn't matter what lane you're in. It shouldn't matter which athlete you do. The only time you should care about an athlete that you judge is if you know that person, that athlete, and you should recuse yourself and leave the lane. That's the only time you should care about the athlete that you're judging. Now, is it okay to get like a little butterflies, like, oh, I'm judging Noah Olson and like, he's amazing. Totally fine. Totally normal. Can it blur your judgment? No, it can't. But those are so 2 people out of the 10 competitions and hundreds of judges that I've had experience with, 2 people that I can think of that kind of fit that bill, if you will. So is it the norm? Probably not. Is it, it's the opinion, it's the experiences of one person whose career of judging spanned all of 18 months to a year to 2 years and 10 competitions. But yes, I stand by what I said. Like I said, I could have been a little more articulate. But again, that wasn't the point of the conversation. Like, I was there to talk about myself, and this question came up, and I just sort of spouted out some things. I'll tell you what's really funny. I'm in like a comment war with somebody on Hiller's page, which, we talk about this all the time about people commenting on stuff that they shouldn't be commenting on. You should just not comment. If you get like a bad, comment, just leave it alone. And damn it, I fell for it, and I like couldn't. I was like, but wait, you're wrong. Let me explain myself. And I'm back and forth with this person. This is hysterical. But he was saying that his opinion was I shouldn't have said anything about Andrew Hiller's steroid videos because I didn't watch them. And I replied and I said, well, right. I didn't watch them because I feel like they're all the same. It's my feeling. My feeling is valid. I feel like they're all the same. That's why I didn't watch Andrew Hiller.
All feelings are good.
Right. And I think this person misconstrued that as I was saying that his videos were like that. And I couldn't confirm that his videos about steroids were like that because I've never seen them. Right. So we were like back and forth nitpicking about that kind of thing. And then finally, he came back with something about you're speaking in hyperbole and that hyperbole should not be part of a normal conversation. And I thought, well, I don't want to be talking to you, dude. Like, who doesn't exaggerate sometimes in normal conversation? Like, that's a human thing. It's not like an on purpose thing, but we tend to do it. But he used the word hyperbolic, which is the adjective that describes hyperbole. And so this is what I did. So I responded to him with some points about whatever. I say him. I don't know if it's a him or her, this person. And I said, blah, blah, blah. If you listen to what I said, this is what I feel. And sorry, sorry that bothers you. I said, what does being in an oxygen chamber have anything to do with what I said? Right. So I purposely made it seem like I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Which is super narcissistic, and I'll like own it, but I had to. It felt very Sevan-like what I did, like played dumb. You know how he kind of plays dumb sometimes when he's doing his podcast, oh, what's that? I don't understand what that is. And it's a way for him to get people to talk. And I totally understand it, but I did that. And the guy, the person responded, Kat, it's hyperbolic, not hyperbaric. And then he like described what the word meant. And that was my last hurrah. He fell for the bait. He took it. He made himself look like an ass. And that's that. And no, I'm not responding to any more comments on YouTube videos ever, unless it's our stuff. So that's that.
So I want to discuss one more piece.
Yes, please do.
And that is the piece where you were an online judge and that you have made comments that were ignored. Did he exaggerate what you said or was it accurately depicted?
It was definitely exaggerated. I don't think, this is my opinion, and he sort of extrapolated his own opinion from what I said. It sounds like his opinion is, that people are covering up for these high level athletes. I don't think that's the case. I saw someone make some no reps. I commented on the video. Those no reps never got penalized for the person, and that happens a lot, right? Let's say, Scott Schweitzer's video, I think that, somebody moved his equipment during the video and that was not allowed. That should be an invalid workout.
Mm-hmm.
The score stood, right? The score stood. So does that mean that CrossFit ignored my comments? Doubt it. Does it mean that they took my comments and just made a decision to allow that video? Yes. Do I hope that if that situation came up in everybody else's video, that they made the same decision? Yes, right? Like, I want them to be consistent. If they're consistently wrong, or that's fine, as long as it's fair. I want it to be fair and equitable for everyone. And that's kind of what I'm assuming happened, was that they went in a different direction. And, I'm not in on those meetings and I'm not in on those conversations. I'm just the peon that's looking at the video and saying, this is what I saw 5 no reps at 5 minutes and 3 seconds. And so-and-so moved his dumbbells at 6 minutes, 38 seconds, so on and so forth. What they do with it after that, really kind of none of my business. But it always a little bit bothered me that they never closed the loop with us to say no, we're not going to count that, or yes, we're going to count that. Because in my opinion, that would help me understand what I'm looking for. But I see where they wouldn't want to do that because they don't want me to think too much, right? Let them do the thinking, let me just do the counting. So I don't know. Hard to say.
So I was thinking
happened though. It absolutely happened.
So I was thinking about this through a couple, we've been talking for a while about what standards are, and there should be a standard and they should be followed so that there's less confusion and all that kind of stuff. So this, as I was laying on the floor dying after my workout today, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was thinking how okay, let's look at when you have referees in these other sports, if you have a referee in football and somebody scores a touchdown, the standards of what a touchdown is, everybody knows what that standard is, right? But when we look at CrossFit, going back to handstand push-ups, sometimes the standard is this standard for handstand push-ups. Then the next year we're going to do this other standard, and then we're going to do a different standard. Yep. So I had 2 thoughts about that. One was, okay, do we just say as a sport, listen, if we want to be this professional sport, we need to come to a conclusion and make sure we know what the standard is? Or is it because we are CrossFit and we don't want to specialize in one certain way that there are certain competitions where, this is our standard at this competition, or this is our standard at this competition? Mm-hmm. I think we have so many different, it leads to confusion and error. Mm-hmm. But just the thoughts I had.
Yeah, the same would apply for in certain workouts, you can have someone change the weight on your bar. In other workouts, you can't.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. I do believe that we need to get to a place where the game season has a set of standards.
Sure. Okay.
100%.
From the start of the game season to the end of the game season. Now, Rogue Invitational, they can do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wadapalooza, they can do what they want to do. But from the start of the game season, which is one continuous,
the open to the games,
quarter, semi,
that would be.
Every year should have a set of standards. This is what we're doing from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking that specifically because of the handstand push-up one. It's why there's so much that I feel frustrated. And I'm feeling this way too with just, there's so many, when we're doing all these interviews and researching people that we're, getting ready to talk to that are competing at semis. And it's you did this many opens, and then you did some regionals, and then quarterfinals, and now some semi, there's all these different things. It's CrossFit. What are we going to keep continuing to change all the time? Is that what it is? Or what's the long-term goal? Are we just making minor tweaks here and there that we're just trying to find the best?
And then you've got all the poor ladies that get married and try to change their name. Like I've done research on people where they have like 2 separate profiles. It's like, oh, you have a hole in your, what happened in 2018 through 2020? Oh, no, that's when I got married. I'm under this name. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Or just accidentally lowercase j and
Poor CJ Gerald,
uppercase
right?
J. Like,
yeah.
Come on, you can't merge those.
Yeah.
What kind of database are you working with here?
Well, maybe if Eric Rosa was still there, we'd be able to get that done. I don't know. He's like the tech guy, right?
He's still
I don't know.
Companies
but
he owns are
to shut the door on that one just quickly. I did not know it was coming. I was super freaked out by it. I'm pretty sure that CrossFit will never let me online judge for them again. And that's okay. I find that now that I'm in media and I'm developing relationships with these athletes that I don't want to judge. And not because I don't think I can be impartial. I just don't want to have to be impartial. And that's just my choice. So, I know that, our judging friends sort of give Scott and I shit for not judging anymore and being on media, and, that's fine. And I hope that no one, on that team thinks that I was trying to, say anything poorly about them, because those people that I know that like are the OGs, they're great judges. It's actually unfortunate that most of them are now leads and they're not in a lane counting reps, right? Because they're really, really good. And I understand the need for leadership, and I'm so proud of them for, being so high up in that arena now. I think it's awesome. But they are not doing it to get close to athletes at all. Like there's way more in it for them than that. And for me, I don't want to be in that position anymore. As much as I love doing it, it's just not for me. And that's okay.
Agreed.
And now Hiller
it's funny
and I
because
text each other on the daily.
You and Hiller do?
Yeah.
You're
We're
so
buddies.
cool.
So it's funny you say that, because when I first judged regionals in 2018, they said, if you know any of the athletes, let us know.
Sure.
What I thought was I know the athlete, and now what I know the athlete is so different.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't judge a lot of the people now.
Exactly. Yeah, we're too like emotionally invested. And yeah, no one would want me on the floor. I'd love to like lead a team and be able to like fix judges on the floor that maybe aren't calling and that kind of thing, but I don't think I'd want to be in the in the thick of it. I don't think it'd be fair.
And I know so about myself that I could never judge, because it's the emotional part that would be too hard for me. That I just
you'd rather encourage them to do it better.
Oh, you're doing great. I mean, that
Right?
looks good. Almost. Yeah.
Right.
So I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But it's even as a fan, like after we've interviewed all these people, like I'm emotionally invested in how well they do, because they were so cool to us, right? They came on, and they were open with us.
Yeah, and people could argue that, people in the media are doing some of this to get close to the athletes. Someone could misconstrue, my efforts in the media to, oh, she just wants to be friends with, celebrities. Because I could think of a couple people in the media team that I feel are like that. And I've been guilty of it to a certain degree as well. I mean, there is something, when you're a fan of the sport, there is something fangirl, fanboy about what we get to do. And that's okay. And like I said, as long as, we're coming at it from a different angle now. I don't know what you do. It's interesting, like baseball games. You think of baseball games, when the game's over, the umpires are gone. You can't even say thank you to them. They are like in the car getting changed and they're out of there.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is in CrossFit with judges. They're hanging around, they're going to the after parties. Again, nothing wrong with that. That's just how our culture is.
Okay. But to what Hiller mentioned, the baseball refs and all those are paid.
Correct.
These are not paid.
Yeah.
These are volunteers.
And part of the reward for them is you get to hang with these people.
Yeah, you get to bump elbows,
which is
right?
Right.
And let's be honest. There are refereeing mistakes in the NFL.
Yeah,
There
sure.
are umpiring mistakes in
Oh,
Major League Baseball.
yeah.
There are umpires who've been called out for making it about them instead of the players. All of the same stuff happens in all the pro sports. So it's not like this is a pandemic only for CrossFit. It's across the board. The one thing though that those leagues have that we don't is grading officials afterward.
Yeah. Yeah. Like watching film and reviewing stuff.
And if just like we get a level, even though we don't know what it means in the open.
Yeah.
If you
should get a
had
grade.
a grade
More
level, if you are a grade A judge,
Mhm.
then you should get your pick of where you want to go.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that would encourage people to call more no reps that are reluctant to call no reps now.
Because
right?
they would be
It would-
graded and
Yeah,
their grade
but
would
it would
depend
it would
on them
have to
being
be
accurate.
but it would have to almost be like a separate video of like these 5 lanes and these 5 lanes, and it's somebody's job at the end of the competition to review that video and to see, Mary Jane in lane 1 missed 80 reps over the weekend, and Sally Sue in lane 5 only missed 4. Sally Sue gets a gold star, and this other person needs the talking to, or isn't allowed back, or whatever. You only notice, well, no, I shouldn't even say that. Here I go. I'm not saying correct words. It seems as though you have to have like an abysmal performance to not be invited back. Period.
But I think the incentive of a grade would change the accuracy number.
100%. I agree. Yeah, that's a great point.
Professionalizing it would also help that. And I'm doing this for them. For them. I want them to get because they're volunteering, they're paying for their own travel. I think that they should be paid for it.
Yeah. If they're good,
I'm not saying
I would hate to see them get paid and then still see lousy judging. That's the problem. Like, you have to get the judging has to be better. It's kind of like doing the job you want to have before you get promoted, kind of a thing. Like, they have to raise the level of the no repping first, I think, before they start paying. Because if you just pay now, you're still going to get shit. It's just going to be paid for. And and I'm not saying that all the judging is shit. I just said that, but that's not what I meant. You know what I mean?
Right. I want to reward the good judges, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know there are great judges.
Yeah.
Like the judge that Hitler pointed out.
Yeah,
he was on Brooks wall balls.
Yeah.
Like, I've known that dude a long time.
And he didn't
and that
give
is a great judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I do, and again, and let me also say that there is nothing wrong with judges after the competition getting selfies with whoever they want. There's nothing wrong with that. That is not the depiction that I would have used to characterize a poor judge. It's not the thing. I feel like a Real Housewife. When they do those confessionals and it's like, that's not what I meant. And that was taken out of context. I feel like I'm defending myself. But yeah, that was good. That was fun. It was a crazy day.
Was it as fun as pole vaulting?
No, definitely not. Guys.
I love how you cleared your throat. You're like, and then went. Can we put that video up?
I wouldn't know how to do it.
Okay.
I don't have it on the computer. I'm going to do like I'll do a montage for y'all. I'd also like another couple weeks under my belt to show like some progression. But here's what the guy said, just so you know. So Eliana and I drove to Norristown. It's about an hour away. She was my videographer.
Okay.
Because I wanted to document some things. And at first, all she was doing was like videotaping me when I was going. And like all the good nuggets of like cinematography was happening in between that when like the coach was talking to me. So it's like, Els, like start film this. So she's getting better at that. But we were there 30 minutes and he said, I got to tell you, I thought this was going to be a train wreck. He said, however, for a master's, he called me a master's, of course, for a master's pole vaulter, he said, I've had about 20 people come through here. He said, you're like one of 2 that actually like could do something with this. And I was like, well, there you go. So I'm hooked. Maybe he just wanted my money, but it was cool. It was fun. Yeah, it's a lot of running. fast running. Apparently I do not run. I'm very imbalanced because of my hip injury and whatever else. So I've got some homework, things to practice. 20 meter repeats. So big, short, explosive runs. Thank God, because any more than that I wouldn't do. All the Olympic lifting I can handle, which is great. This is going to be like a good springboard for me to kind of get back on track with my working out. It was super scary. He would do like a couple drills on the ground with the pole. Like you hold the pole and you take like 3 steps and you just plant it. And I would do that maybe 3 times. And the third time when I'd get it right, he'd like move me to the next thing. And I'm like, no, wait, I want to do that like 5 more times. You know, like I want to get like the muscle memory, you know, because when we drill with a barbell, it's completely different. You do 100, you know, big shrugs before you move on to the next thing. Well, he was like moving me like more quickly than I was comfortable. Within like 20 minutes, he's like, all right, we're going to just go to the pit. And I was like, the pit? Like, I just learned how to like step 3 times and plant. And he told me like, I'm splitting the pole. I'm not supposed to split the pole. And now he wants me to do it in the pit. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for this. But it was fun. It was really fun. I'm definitely going to do it again. My daughter has actually gotten bit by the bug. Like she watched and she's like, this looks really fun. She's like, I think I'd be good at this. And she used to be a tumbler, right? So she gets that like explosiveness and everything else. And you know, pole vaulting is like there aren't a lot of people that know how to pole vault. And she's a junior in high school. Like girl could get some money for school if she like really, you know,
could figure that out.
Got good quickly at that. So next week we're going back and the 2 of us are going to go together. And that way she can go and rest and then I can go. It's kind of like when you are doing like really heavy deadlifts and you need like 3-minute break in between sets. I would do one of those running into the pit and then he'd make me like rest for like 3 minutes. Because the first time we did like 3 in a row and he's like, yeah, you're getting tired. He's like, you need to stop. But it was fun. Super fun.
So so our audience knows, this stems from a conversation with Danielle Brandon a few weeks ago when we went live with her on a Friday night.
Before that, Kat and I have been talking about it.
Had we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was definitely, it might not have been the conversation with Danielle Brandon, but it was the fact that Danielle Brandon is a pole vaulter that I was thinking about doing it. Because it just, for me, it's more about, I'm fascinated with the progression of it. Because it's such a crazy thing that you do that I thought, like, how do you break that down into smaller pieces? And I just was curious about it. So yeah. Cool. So I Danielle, I tagged her in my my Instagram post of because my Whoop picked up my session. Like my Whoop doesn't pick up anything anymore. Yeah, I know. I was there for an hour. You see like the peaks and valleys of like he had me on a true runner. I've never used a true form runner before.
Oh really?
No, and I thought I was going to fall flat on my face. Like I went too fast. Like I couldn't slow myself down. I was like, oh. So 2 minutes of running, a little bit of stretching, lots of sprinting. I am so sore. Like already, it's only been like an hour and a half. The front of this one shoulder where you plant is really sore, and I know tomorrow it's going to be bad. But it was super fun. So anyway, Danielle and I were DMing back and forth because I told her I'd let her know when I did it, and she was so excited. I sent her the video, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" So I'm excited.
She called
Hi, Charlie.
You fearless.
She
did. Called you fearless.
Well, and I figured, like, I showed you guys, right? Or I show anybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Like you did, it's. But if you don't know like what it takes to do what I did, you can't like appreciate it. So like I needed a little bit of a like. Atta girl. So I knew if I sent it to her, she would look at it from the lens of someone who knows how to do it and would understand just how difficult it was what I did. Do you know what I mean? No thanks to Charlie.
So you didn't take my no rep.
Right, exactly. That's what set me off. I was like, damn, Charlie's not impressed. Yeah, it was cool. Good, more stuff. I'll put something together for it.
So now that Mr. Mobility's on.
Yep.
How's Frank?
Right now he's drunk and can barely, he's stumbling around like an idiot.
Did they have to like put a drain in it or anything?
They cut some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
They sucked out some stuff. They shaved him. So now he's got a bare neck. And he's got a cloth cone, some kind of weird cone. It's not that plasticky.
Did they think he got bitten? Is it a bite?
No, he got 2 little punctures in his neck from the old
From somebody's mouth?
Vibrating leash.
Oh,
so Murph once got a hot spot from that, and you should take that one off at night, every night.
Well, I think it's in the trash now because
okay.
I'm in favor of that.
His mother
poor Bubba
said no.
Yeah.
But now he's just laying around
being
kind
drunk,
of figuring out life, trying to figure out where the toilet is just in case.
I love it. I love when dogs come out of anesthesia.
Sounds.
Yeah. He's like, whoa. Like Amy on a Saturday usually. That's right.
And a Friday.
Coming for you.
Night. And a Sunday.
We're fighting.
Why? Because why?
It's better that way.
Because that's what you do.
Because I beat her in a workout today.
You did. I struggled. It was a hard workout. Let me just tell you what it is real quick, because I have not done that amount of volume of that movement so close together. It starts with 3 rounds of 21 handstand push-ups and 12 power snatches. That's a lot of shoulder back to back.
Yeah.
Then it was 3 rounds of 21 burpees and 12 power snatches. So it was very challenging because I haven't done that much of a volume of handstand push-ups so close together. Like usually it's like 21, 15, 9, and it's like,
or some chipper or something.
Yeah. Do this and then do this and do that. It wasn't like shoulder.
Right. Because 12 power cleans isn't going to take you long.
Snatches. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said cleans the first time and then snatches the second time.
It was snatches. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it was 95-65. So yes, does not take that long.
No, you're bouncing those off quickly.
Yeah. So he did beat me. Mm-hmm. It's accurate. So
it's all that overhead mobility.
That's right.
It's paying
mobility
off.
Movement. It's coming.
I'm gonna have to do some mobility because I feel like my back can't hold up to all that bendy stuff. Yeah. So
they've got some lower back protocols if you need them.
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
That's some shoulder stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my shoulder's really.
And that thing's got like toe stuff if you need it.
Oh, sweet.
Need a little thumb mobility.
Got it. For all those thumb wrestling events you get in.
You and the wrestling and
slap fighting.
Apparently, Amy lost internet right in the middle of that statement.
Oh, sorry.
Amy, how did your interviews go today?
They went great.
Atlas Games.
They went really, they went good. It was funny because just from reading the sponsor stuff, I was like, I feel like I'm just on repeat today.
I know. I wish there was a way that we could make it one big episode and just sort of have people come in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then it wouldn't, it would be too complicated to you'd have to go back and do a chapter thing and whatever. And it works better this way, but yeah.
The feedback
you feel a little bit on autopilot.
Yeah. And the feedback I got was athletes so appreciative of us doing that.
Yeah.
And they said, I was talking to Ellie Hiller. She was the most recent one. She was like, I'm enjoying watching them and getting the backstory of these athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like homework for them.
That has been universal at every semifinal I've been to. So appreciative. And even other media members coming over going, I can't believe you guys pulled that off.
Yeah, that's cool.
And CrossFit should be thanking you for highlighting these other athletes because they deserve it. And we need to know who they are.
So the most interesting, I got the same answer from just about everybody. I was like, what would be your, after semis, what's going to be your cheat meal or your refeed meal? And everybody was like pizza and then ice cream. I was like, that's what I would choose too.
That's dinner. That's not a cheat meal.
That's just a Tuesday night.
Right. That's Wednesday night dinner. That's great. Well, tomorrow we've got a whole nother slate of folks to interview, and we're figuring out right now who's going to do what. And then on Saturday, we kind of have the celebrity semifinalists lineup. We've got Alex and Jeremy Vigneault, and then we have Alexis Destois and Caroline Prevost. Brothers, couple, together, back to back interviews. That'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'll be grabbing as many interviews as I can this weekend to throw up on social media.
Have you seen any? Have you been over to the facility yet, or no? You just literally got in your hotel, huh?
But I'm staying where the athletes are, so the lobby is full of everyone. Saw Kelsey Keel, saw Colton, saw Mal.
Were you able to say hi to any of those, or just like in passing? You said hi to.
Well, they said hi to me, but sure.
Yeah, look at this guy. I'm sorry, I got to get to my room. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Sorry, I can't do interviews right now. I'm busy.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt Fraser. I got to get to the other.
Sorry, Matt. Maybe later.
I want to ask Matt, like, when he was competing, he went to one semi.
Yeah.
He's going to more now than he did.
All of them, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it more stressful now and all the travel and
I got news for you. He's not going to Atlas Games.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Not going to that one.
Nope. He's done with his run this week.
The other thing we need to do is we need to help Drake Lewis get his +1 coach's pass filled. So Drake Lewis lives in Utah. He has a 5-month-old baby. His wife is not going with him because baby doesn't have a passport. So the baby and mom are staying home. His parents are going with him. I said, he's a proven athlete. None of the guys from Nashville are making the trip to Atlas Games. And I said, who's going to take your coach's pass? And he said, that's an excellent question. I don't have anyone. And I was like, dude, you need somebody to help you, like,
with your bag,
get to your thing and be your pack mule, meet you there, make sure you eat and all that kind of stuff. So we are on a campaign. I'm on a campaign to find Drake Lewis a coach's pass. There's got to be somebody who knows a little bit about what they're doing that's there with another coach, right? Who would like to get credentials to go back, but there's, 2 coaches and only 1 athlete who would maybe pick up his pass and, help him out a little bit. So let's work on that. Okay.
Yeah. We could always offer up Dave or Catherine. They're in Canada already.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd love that. Let's check with them first. But yeah. I mean, I was ready to like get my passport renewed and go. Like, that's how bad I felt. I was like, oh, you need someone. Like, you have to have a +1. And this is his first like big
Charlie can't go, so don't worry about Charlie.
Yeah, my goal this off season is to get my passport back.
Sorry.
To get my passport active again.
Hey, mine's active. I'm ready.
Yeah, I need to get mine active too.
Yep, but you can't go.
It's his dog.
Do we have any other interviews tonight? We don't, right? We're done for today. Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, I reached out to everyone and everyone wanted Thursday. Can you do Thursday? Because that's like everybody's rest day.
Okay, I'll tell you guys something off the air here in just a second.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Well, we're just about done. So, so have we hit 100 interviews yet? Do we know?
For semis? Close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go back and count.
Because I counted after event interviews, I hit 48 interviews in 2 semifinals.
Jeez, it's crazy.
We had like 20 interviews today, so.
I know, and 20
Just
tomorrow.
Just 4.
So,
all right, guys.
I bet you.
I'm disappointed that no one was watching because I was really looking forward to some comments.
Yeah.
On the Hiller thing and the judge thing and whatever else. So hopefully this just means that people will watch it later and feel very strongly and need to say something.
Yeah, and that way, Kat, you can get into an argument on the comments.
I would love to. You guys have to go back and read the comments on that thing because it's priceless.
And before we sign off, one quick thing. We did an interview with Freya.
Oh, yeah. Mooseburger.
And the audio was crap.
Yes. Not sure why, because it sounded fine while we were and it got a lot of views. It got like 78 views. I didn't pull it yet. No. So it's still out there. I wasn't sure if you were going to pull it or not. Maybe we just leave it.
it's not a good representation of our show
Okay.
because it's inaudible.
Yeah.
We'll just bring her back after.
Yeah. Okay. I let her know, and she was super bummed. But what can you do?
So we will bring her back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hopefully after she makes the games.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Love it.
All right. I'm
Cool.
going to end this broadcast.
Let's end. Goodbye, folks.
Bye.
Bye.